Kia ora and welcome to today's Advent Drink Along. I'm Luke and today we're drinking a beer from the abandoned brewery in Lower Hutt, who are a bunch who could never be accused of taking themselves too seriously. A very irreverent crowd that have a really unique approach to brewing, to life, to labels, just about everything really. They've got a lovely tap room you can go and visit them at, and their beers are like them, never boring. So we're drinking their Berliner Weisse today, which is a pretty fantastic style. It's in the family of wheat beers. It's unsurprisingly from Berlin and northern Germany, and the beer style originates many centuries before Germany existed. Germany is a pretty new country that was made up of lots of different self-governing places. So I mentioned previously that people often talk about the Reinheitsgebot, the German purity law, but that is not actually a thing. It's a Bavarian purity law. So that's in the deep southeast around Munich and those sort of areas where they had the purity laws. But in other parts of the country, they could chuck coriander into beers and all sorts of other ingredients and adjuncts and salt and things like that. So this is a, as I say, it's a wheat beer in the Berlin style. So kind of nothing like a Bavarian wheat beer, which is all about esters and full body and I suppose a real liquid bread sort of thing. Whereas it's light, it's crisp, it's effervescent. So it contains way less wheat, which is part of the reason. And also historically, this would have been a beer style which had mixed fermentation. So a few days ago, we talked about the lactobacillus that was used in the kettle sour that we had from McLeod's. So this historically is a kind of kettle sour. Of course, hundreds of years ago, yeast cultures hadn't been isolated prior to Louis Pasteur. So it wasn't as though brewers knew what was happening. They just knew that if you brewed in a certain way and did certain things, then tasty things would happen. It was before they even knew that yeast existed, because who could have known that deep inside all of us and everywhere floating around, microscopic sized organisms that are just going to work, eating sugars and converting things into booze. So mixed fermentation, tartness, you've got some a bit of acidity, and it is light and it's bubbly, and famously Berliner Weisse was known as the champagne of the north, and Napoleon's troops that were rolling through Europe were big fans of it, and it's historically always been lower alcohol. This is really on the high side at 4.2. Generally it would be about 3.5% thereabouts. And it's one of those wonderful things, an historic beer style, really quaffable, really sessionable, and also, like we talked about a couple of days ago with the fruited sour from a different brewery, adjuncts have been used in beer for a long time. So this is pretty accurate to what a modern Berliner Weisse would have been like anytime in the last 100 years or so, I suppose. If you're going back to the 1600s, then it would be a bit different because, of course, it would be wild fermentation, etc. But also, it's traditionally the done thing to add a Schuss to a beer like this. So in bars that serve Berliner Weisse, they would also have a bottle or even a couple of bottles of syrup. So you'd have Himbeer syrup, raspberry syrup, which is obviously red, and then a green Woodruff syrup, which is a really beautiful, really unique flavour. Woodruff isn't the kind of flavour you get to try that often. So that's a really fun way to drink beers like this. It's absolutely great by itself. It's dry, it's crisp. It just finishes so dry. It's so refreshing. But also, if you fancy something a little bit sweet, you can just pop a bit of cordial in there, I suppose. Whatever you've got that's a lovely sweet syrup. And it's a style that pretty much went extinct. So it is in Berlin, still exists the Berliner Kindl brewery. And I think there's maybe one other brewery in Berlin that still makes this style. But yeah, as the story I feel like I keep talking about with these historic ones, it pretty much got wiped out by lagers and pilsners and all these different weird regional styles in different areas as people started traveling around more, as people got cars and trains, and the breweries became gigantic. The homogenization really took over, so really good that this beer style exists. Even though it's definitely not a popular style, it's not going to be competing with Pilsner anytime soon. But brilliant that it lives on with those couple of historic breweries in Berlin, but also with innovative breweries across the world wanting to do something that's a little bit different. And it is a bit different because there are almost no kettle sours that get released in New Zealand that do not have fruit adjuncts, basically. I suppose they are popular and they're tasty, so it's nice to have something that is a clean sour, so you can really get an idea of what's happening there with different cultures working, and the base malts and wheat. All right, thank you for joining us. Excellent work to Abandoned. Thank you for continuing making these really great traditional beer styles, like the draft I often talk about. That's one I always try and keep in stock here. Yeah, they did a lovely, the Japanese black rice lager that you will have tried. So yeah, cool brewery doing really cool stuff. Great work. Cheers. See you tomorrow.